Hi, welcome to episode 2. In this episode, up your adventure game with climbing mountains, we're going to cover the Camino de Santiago, or the Caminos in general, what we offer. So let's kick it off. Camino de Santiago, one of the oldest pilgrimages in the world, over 1,000 years old, commonly known as the Way of St. James, Camino Francais, and could be known by a very, very famous and popular movie called The Way. Emilio Estevez, for example, was the lead character in that. So for those that do or don't know, the Camino is back on the radar again. There's been a movie out recently. There's always a great interest. It's one of the great walks. You know, it's probably considered as one of the greatest walks in the world. You don't have to be a high-level endurance athlete. You have to train for it, and there's ways around that, and we'll talk to that and show you how. However, it's an amazing event, an amazing experience, and something I've done many times, both trekking it, aka hiking, walking, whatever name you want to call it, but also cycling it. For those people that are time poor, in our industry, time poor is kind of the buzzwords these days. People want to do things quicker. And there's many of our tours that people want to fast track, and cycling is certainly one way of doing it. You do generally skip the smaller villages and towns. So those people that want to be really traditional and really, I guess, not miss anything, cycling is probably not for you. But if you are time poor, then cycling is the smart way to go. I personally love both. But let's get into it. So Camino de Santiago, it's approximately 779.5 kilometres or 500 miles, thereabouts. On Strava, having personally walked it a few times and lost some toenails in the process from bad fitting shoes, not from anything else. It's probably around 800 kilometres. You'll have friends and family, and you'll read about people doing the Camino, and they say they did it in a week. They haven't done the full Camino. They haven't done the Camino de Santiago. They've done the last section from Syria in Spain. The church put together a Compostela, a certificate. You can go from Syria to the end and get your certificate, which means you've walked that 100 kilometres. And this is a very good thing for people that are time poor, people that maybe haven't got the capability to actually walk, 800 kilometres, which is completely understandable, because quite often we get people in a more mature stage in life that want to do the Camino. They may be semi-retired or retired because they have the time, or it's been one of those things where they've always wanted to kind of walk across Spain. It is amazing. I get goosebumps when I think about it. It's just such a time to reflect on everything in life, and you meet so many interesting people from all over the world, all walks of life. It is a pilgrimage, and I want to kind of squash some myths around this. A pilgrimage, in its very sense, is religious, but it does cater for religious, spiritual, or just, people that want to or like walking long distances and want to walk across Spain. So don't think if you choose to do any of the Caminos, the big ones or the small ones, because the Portuguese along the Portuguese coastline's a lot smaller. From Porto through to the end is only 280 kilometres. So there are smaller ones around. If you choose to do it, don't always think that you have to be religious. Not at all. Yes, there's thousands of churches and cathedrals, and they're amazing to go and look in from a museum perspective, from a religious perspective, whatever you're into. But it's certainly not the focus as it was, hundreds of years ago. Is it challenging? It's challenging because it's kind of a half marathon every day if you do the big one for 33 days with a couple of rest days in there. And when you say it like that, people go, "Oh wow." However, one, you walk at a considered pace. Two, you have the option of forwarding your pack or forwarding your luggage, so you can basically walk with a water bottle and some food. It's well established, most of these paths, these caminos, so you can actually get food along the way. Some, and I did certainly the first time, walk with a 18-kilo backpack and paid the price for it, but you don't need to do that. And I think it's age appropriate whether you do that or not. And also your health. I mean, as I'm getting older, my back isn't great. You'd never catch me putting an 18-kilo pack on and walking 800 kilometres ever again. Done it once, thank you, that's enough. So don't be deterred by that. The other thing too is it's got a great transport and logistics system that runs through it all. So it's not unusual for people to say, look, I'm going to catch a train for one section, or I'm going to catch a bus, or I'm going to, Osabrero, for example, up in the mountains, some people get a horseback up to the top there. Osabrero is crossing into Galicia, absolutely gorgeous. And for Australians, you'll smell eucalyptus trees because they're everywhere. And it reminds you of home if you are from, our part of the world. 33 days, it's a long time, when you add in your travel time, flying, et cetera, but well worth it if you have the time. It's a group setting organically. However, you do organically separate. So when you come on any of our tours that are long distance, we start off together, but we generally have a guide front and back, like bookends. So you kind of never see us until you need us, if that's what you want. Other people get along really well with the guides and decide they're going to walk with them every step of the way. It's a personal choice. On this journey, because it's your journey and you'll do it your way, and that's one of the ways, one of the reasons why I guess it's called The Way, is it's your personal journey. You'll meet many people over pilgrims dinners, over lovely wine from Rioja, because you walk through those regions. You'll meet people and want to walk with them. So we don't restrict that behaviour. We're there to support you and make it super easy for you, especially from a safety perspective. We're there to ensure that if anything goes wrong, no matter what it is, we're there to support you in every way, and make it easy for you. You don't have to worry about having to speak Spanish. Most of my guides, you can speak Spanish, Italian, English, obviously, and the list goes on. I even am not too bad at speaking Spanish, but generally when I have to. But, Marco, one of our senior guides, he's based in Portugal and he speaks Portuguese because his wife's Portuguese. He speaks Italian, that's his native tongue. English, he used to live over here for a while when I first met him. And he also speaks Spanish as well. So we're there for guidance and support, not to kind of manage you every step of the way. Trekking the Camino, is it for you? That's a question you need to ask yourself. Where there's a will, there's a way. We give great guidance when we onboard our clients, what to bring, how to bring it, how we're going to help you. Lots of tricks on walking, footwear. But essentially, if you're prepared to put the effort in, walk around home, 10, 15 Ks, you can easily do the Camino. The two hardest days on the Camino are generally the first day. So whoever organised that had a sense of humour. You start from Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port in France and you walk across the Pyrenees into Roncesvalles on one day, the first day. There's two routes across the Pyrenees, which are sometimes closed if the weather's bad enough, or Varcolos route around the side. I've done both when I took a group in April last year, I think it was, yeah. We had snow. That's the first time I've seen snow across the mountain range. It was beautiful, but it was cold. That's the hardest day. It's about 28 and a half kilometres. We ship the packs across, so you just walk across into Roncesvalles. Beautiful pilgrim's lunch, pilgrim's church service if you wish to go to it, a great night's sleep because you're tired, and then the rest of the Camino is pretty much flat until you get to Osabrero, and that's a bit of a goat track up the hill. But as I mentioned, there's always the horse guys at the bottom that'll help you get up there. But once you get up there into Galicia, the view, it is just beautiful. I just love Spain so much. Fitness-wise, I touched on. Backpack, I touched on. Strength, everyone's different. It doesn't matter, all shapes and sizes we've had, and we can make you get through it if you have a desire to do so. You are working in a community. If you do the traditional way in albergues, which are hostels, you are living in dormitory style. Some people really love that because you do get to stay in certain parts where the nuns will sing you to sleep, believe it or not, which is an amazing thing to be part of. So you can stay in the real church-orientated environments, or we can put you into pensions, small hotels, and you can upgrade and you can have single supplement, and you'll never be in an albergue, aka hostel. You'll have your own room and maybe a shared bathroom sometimes, or you'll have your own accommodation period. So there are upgrade facilities in that, but it is a very communal environment. Initially, even if you're a little bit shy, eventually you'll warm up to it. You'll forget about the woes of the universe and your life at home. You'll stop using your phone. You'll talk more. You'll engage more, and you'll get in touch with yourself. It is very spiritual in that sense, and a very memorable activity. A lot of tradition there, a lot of beauty, a lot of culture, a lot of wonderful cuisine. And if you like wine, well, you're in one of the best wine regions in the world. So even their bad wine is great. What's included? Professional guide that's actually walked it, cycled it, actually has done it. There's a lot of companies out there that do self-guided, which people go for. Our price isn't that much dearer, and why wouldn't you have a guide that can speak multiple languages and knows where to go and all the best restaurants, etc., and can look after your every whim. So we always focus on providing that kind of professional guide. All meals are included. Don't worry about meals at all. And transport and accommodation while you're on the Camino, while you're on the journey. Exclusions: we don't cover flights. Travel insurance compulsory. Everything we do in this company. There's no alcohol provided except for the pilgrims' dinners because it's traditional water and wine. You get red wine or you get water. So you don't have to partake. But outside of that, that's the only time it's provided. What to bring? That's a long list, and we give you guidance on them. We do our first onboarding, which are kind of our one-on-one, and talk you through it. Deposit only, deposit's refundable. Best time to go, generally Easter period. They have wonderful Easter parades, and the whole of Spain comes alive. The Spanish embrace the Camino Caminos a lot more than Portuguese do. Which surprises me but doesn't. 1st of April this year, get on board. It's a Wednesday. We start in France. We cross the Pyrenees, Roncesvalles, short village in between, Sabruri generally, and then into Pamplona for Good Friday, where they have amazing tapas, amazing wine, beautiful parades on Good Friday. It's the best period to go. However, I have taken tours and done personally myself May and October. Equally as good, just quiet compared to the festive nature of the Easter period. So that's the Camino de Santiago. As I mentioned briefly through there, we do the Portuguese as well, the full Portuguese, and we also do the shortened version from Porto. Full Portuguese, we cycle all the way. The full Portuguese, we will generally bus from Lisbon into Porto and walk from Porto along the beautiful coastline, which is about 280 k's. So, as we always say, hit us up on our website, WhatsApp, Instagram. Look forward to hearing from you. Hope you enjoyed the episode, and up your adventure game of climbing mountains. Thank you.